You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of LadyJMedia. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
I know you do. I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. I'm your pusher.
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place, you should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chains. Hello, welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansboro. It is Wednesday, October, 26th, I believe? October 26th, 2022. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day thus far today. It's been a crazy week already for me. Last week I took a little break just to regroup, and it feels so good to be back right now. It really does. All right. Today is a special edition of Spitfire Poetry Shutdown, all right, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? This is the last show that I have for this month, so I wanted to, dedicate some of this show to people who were dealing with it, people who survived it, people who have lost their lives behind it, things of that nature. We want to shine a light on that. But also, as always, you can get my books on Amazon, Unusual Favor, and Spitfire Poetry, Volume 1 and 2 are all available on Amazon right now. You can get them whenever you feel free, all right? I want to share a couple of poems from some interesting female poets that I follow. Some of them I read up on some of their works a lot, right? But before I even go into that, a friend of mine, one of my sisters, all right, shout out to the table. One of my sisters, Shamice Lady Jacobs, has a book called Holiday. All right, this is a poetry book by Shamice Lady Jacobs called Holiday. You want to follow her on Instagram and Facebook. I believe she's dropping 2 more books in November. I believe it's November 22nd, but don't quote me on that. But you want to follow her on Instagram and Facebook. I've had her on my show quite a few times. Very powerful sister, life coach. She's got a bunch of things going on. Very positive, very loving young lady, and great energy. So you want to follow her, all right? And get those 2 books. I think she's letting you pre-order them right now. All right. So you want to follow her. Also look out for my team members, for authors. If you need somebody to publish a book for you, Black-owned company right here in Baltimore, Maryland. They'll take good care of you. If you don't know which way to go and putting out your book, give them a call, hit them up on Instagram. 4 authors. And I'm sure they'll take good care of you. All right. So look, I want to start reading some poems actually out of Shamice's book. All right. Um, I've had this book since 2019. I know I met her right before the pandemic, maybe a year before the pandemic. Um, and I love her writing. She's very positive, um, and also very upfront and honest in her writing, right? So I want to share a couple of poems from her book that's called Holiday, Holy Day. Holy Day. Let me get that right first of all. Holy Day. All right. Shout out to Lady J, Dr. Lady J Jenkins. Follow us at we're on YouTube now. We're just about everywhere. You want to follow What Up Baltimore? Go to LadyJMedia at gmail.com for all of the ways to watch the shows on What Up Baltimore. All right. Now, I'm gonna start with one of the first poems that she has in here. All right. And like me, I want to say this is sort of similar to what I do too, because we like to um tell our story as poets, and married in many different ways, right? So for this book, Holiday, Holy Day, um, my sister Shamice Jacobs, for both my late grandmother and father, who let me bloom organically and taught me that liberation is more than an idea. I love it. I love it. All right. So the first poem that caught me in here is like the very first one on page 5. This is called Bags and Things. All right. This is by Shamice Lady Jacobs. You want to follow her on Facebook. Bags and Things. All right. Oh, she carries her bags wherever she goes, never putting them down or letting them go, never letting them out of her sight. She holds on to them with all her might. What's going on? Where is she going? How's it been on you, baby girl? Where you been? Did you lose yourself in the cold world? She says, summer nights are freezing to me. Winter's sorrow is when I best see the forest for the trees. I'm too numb to feel spring's blessings of a breeze. And these are just my bags. Would you mind helping me to carry my things? And please, without judging me. Bags and Things. All right, this is another one. I'm just going to keep right on going. This is called A Lover's Cry. Hey, hey, we got my sister Anna Aneski Kamzet in the house. How you doing, sis? I think you muted. I think you muted. How you doing, sis? Can you hear me?
I
there
I
you
said
go.
Aneski Anakim Set. If you don't get this name right, bro.
I should have known you wasn't too far away from her. What's going on, bro?
And
What's up with y'all? How y'all, man?
I'm good. Listen, it's crazy. That put a whole new meaning to stuck at the ribs. You know what I mean? More
Look,
like a double-headed dragon over here.
right. I was sharing some poems from our sister Shamice's book, Holy Day, right?
Yeah.
And she's about to drop 2 more books. I believe her release date is sometime in November. I want to say November 22nd.
That's correct.
But I was letting everybody know that this was I wanted to, and my sister right here gave me this idea. I got to be upfront, be honest with y'all, about bringing some awareness to breast cancer awareness, period, right? Today is my last Wednesday show of the month. So it would be only right for me to do something about breast cancer awareness, at least saluting the people who survived it, who've moved on from it, things of that nature, and people who are still dealing with it. And my sister here gave me this idea yesterday, and I love it. I love it because thinking about what I wanted to do, and I wanted to share a bunch of poems from a lot of the women that I follow as poets, professionally and locally, whatever. I think we are. I don't care if you're local or not. As far as I'm concerned, you're professional if you write and you feel what you're writing. You know. But to you guys, for office.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best publishing companies out right now. I was telling everybody if they need something published, they need to get to you guys as soon as possible. Y'all are located right here in Baltimore, Maryland, and you do a good job with your work. You know, you care about what you're doing. I know firsthand y'all do. So anybody who wants to put their works in the hands of four authors, you will definitely be in good hands. I definitely vouch for this couple right here. They are about their business, and it's no bullshit at all. It really isn't. None whatsoever.
I appreciate. Yeah, we definitely take pride in what we do, and we have a mission that's beyond. Of course, as a small business, you want to create opportunities for profit and capital gain, but for us, it's a lot more than that. The passion behind what we do is just getting our culture to a higher state mentally, and
Right.
we know one of those ways is through reading, and not just reading does not just help educate, but it also helps create a therapeutic aspect for those who need an outlet, and also it can do a whole lot more, just from all the different aspects of life, physically, mentally, emotionally. If you're looking for, if it's your hobby, if it's a skill, reading and writing goes hand in hand, and so we're just trying to bring that back at a high level into our culture, and with hopes that it will bring some changes to the communities and throughout the cities and the states abroad. So
Absolutely. I love it. And also, while I'm thinking about that, shout out to Tia Hamilton. She is the owner of Urban Reads Bookstore. She has a second location now in Lexington Market, on the second floor of Lexington Market. Y'all want to go and check her out. She is always on her job too. That's the book lady right there. That's the book pusher, for real.
Yeah.
And I love what she's doing. I really do. I love the fact that we're trying to push this onto our children, because they need something that they got so much access to so many things that don't make any sense, and that just keep them distracted from keeping their eye on the goal. You know what I mean? And I love to shout out people like you and Tia who are doing things positive in our community to try to get our people to open up books. One thing we know that people believe, if they want to hide something from us, they put it in a book.
Very true. Very true. And yes, even piggybacking on for that, for authors as a publishing company, right now we actually have 4 children books that are on the market. We have the Little Black Sheep series that introduces early educational development towards your colors, your ABCs, and your numbers as far as counting. And then we also have a spiritual based book for children called God Won't Answer Me, written by C.L. Deloach. And that particular book is geared toward teaching children how to understand, or teaching really understanding spirituality and the concept of praying. And when I like the book because it answers a child's very eminent question about why God doesn't answer. Because sometimes when you're introducing a spiritual aspect to young people, they're looking for something physical to identify what you're trying to teach them from a spiritual concept. And so when they don't have that exact physical thing to identify with, they begin to get lost and misunderstand. So God Won't Answer Me is one of my favorite children's book now, because it expresses in a way something so simple but very much common among our culture, and that is, well, I pray but God won't answer me. And so throughout it, the author shows ways, identifies ways that they perceive that God can answer, or does answer, not just the prayer of a child, but all of our prayers. So it's I feel it's a very much needed book in a time of today, when you go to look for books that are geared towards this type of topic. There are no African American based books of our culture that focuses on this particular subject. Yes, we We may learn stories of the Bible, and we may elaborate on some things outside of that. But to just directly answer that one particular question that I as a parent have had to answer before, for my own child, which is why God won't answer me. So it's a great book. It's available on Amazon along with all of our books. Again, it's very simple to look up the title, and then anything with the Little Black Sheep series. You have ABCs with Little Black Sheep, Counting with Little Black Sheep, and Colors with Little Black Sheep. We also have a compilation hardback called Little Black Sheep, ABCs with Little Black Sheep, and more. And so that is all 3 stories in one hardback copy. So yes, starting with the youth and instilling them from the beginning the power of reading and the benefits of the knowledge from that is something that I think we should definitely invest in as a people, period.
Yeah. How do we grasp their attention though? Because in your opinion, because I when I frequent churches and things of that nature, I look around sometimes, and a lot of the kids, or even mine, are on their tablets just going away. You know what I mean? And it's like they can hear what's going on, but I don't think that they're receiving anything because they're focused on something else. And this is a touchy subject, but this is what I do on my show. I got to get it out and tell you how I feel about this. I think that with the teachings that we have all maybe have learned over the years, things change. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. So when it comes so when it comes to that in religion, to me, I feel like we have to find a way to be able to get these children and grasp them so they can listen to whatever that you're trying to. Not saying that we should push them into any religion either, but something needs to be, tangible, or something that they can grab onto physically and spiritually and mentally that'll keep them focused instead of some of the negativity that's on social media. Like, in your opinion, how do you think we can grasp it though?
I think you hit it. I think you said 2 very important words that make a big difference, especially like you say with the evolution of things and perspectives in 2022. First off, religion. It's a big thing now. People are told that they can choose to be what religion they want, and then at other times they're chastised because of their religious beliefs. So, right there, the word religion already puts a division in the thought process for a person, especially a child who may have experienced good or bad things that when they label it as religion. I myself, I don't per se lean towards neither of one religion. I am a believer of all, quote unquote, if you were to say religions, or what I believe to say, I believe in spirituality. Now, again, you said that word as well. See, the thing with it, when you have to understand with children nowadays, religion is far-fetched because we don't have as many people and certain structures like temples and churches and these things that used to be so traditional to follow the paths of the ones before us have kind of been, pulled away because there has been a wave of knowledge. Again, books have been opened, things have been read, and there's been information that has been shared about religion, the Bible, and all of those things that was passed down to us. There's been knowledge that was hidden from those of us, that were prior to us, our grandparents and our great-grandparents. There's a wave of knowledge that now has people shaken by the word religion. Because when you say religion, again, you automatically begin to lean towards division. Because now you have the Christian mother who gave birth to the son who wants to be Muslim. And so now we're having a choice of religion. But what they fail to realize is both are seeking spirituality. Both are seeking some type of wholeness for their excuse me, we do have a visitor. But both are seeking but I'm sorry about that. But both are seeking wholeness for unanswered questions or feelings and emotions. Both are seeking things. And so, and my beliefs and why I don't specify religion, not even to my children, is because to me, not near nobody's religion is the right or the wrong one. Because to me, spirituality is about humanity, learning to be civil and learning to have moral values, that to treat all that is born, you know, in this cycle, in this realm of all, you know, physical world, to treat them in a manner that produces, you know, goodness and productivity for the wholeness of the land, for the whole excuse me, just for the carry on, you know, humanity. And so with that, you know, we're going to experience things that grief and pain and all these emotions. And as a human, we need to identify with these things that's happening. So whether I'm a person who grew up and was taught that Christ was the person to heal these things, or I'm a person that grew up feeling like Muhammad is the person to talk to about these things, or if I'm a person that was born and was taught to pray to Buddha in my hard times, to me, everyone is correct. Who am I to say how you receive wholeness for your spiritual needs is incorrect? And so I think one of the first things we have to do with this next generation is let them know it's okay to be diverse in your spirituality. Because truth be told, whether you're reading the Torah, the Bible, the Quran, or any other, even the teachers of Confucius, the Buddha, even the, you know, the teachers, the ancient teachers of Kemet, you know, the 42 laws of my, all of these things are really based on the same concept, which is there is one love. You know, we are all one. We are all engaged to each other in some sort of manner that works with this earth that we walk on in a way that is beyond our mental state. You know, our eyes and ears have seen and heard things, but there are things beyond that, those senses that take place, and we don't have an exact name for it because no one was there in the beginning when these things started. So I think one of the first things we do have to do when we get to the youth is let them know that, you know, spirituality is okay, and it's okay to be diverse in these things. Again, we're learning that. I've kind of learned that this generation, people say they soft and sensitive, but to me, what has happened is our generation had it so hard. The ones before us were so, you know, so judgmental, and we were so, you know, constrained to so many societal thoughts and natures of girls do this and boys do that, and you know, you can't be gay and you can't be this, and you should walk like this, you should wear pants, and you know, so we in this generation began to lighten up on our youth and say, you know what, you are a person, a human, you have thoughts and opinions, be liberated. And so now the generation that's coming up is fully free to be who they want to be. If they wake up today and say, today I feel like in my heart I want to be a girl, and I was born a male, I can go and make whatever arrangements and take whatever steps and be free to be who I want to be. So when we get to spirituality, we need to address it with the same manner. We need to let them know it's okay to be diverse. And then you can get into the meat of spirituality, because again, someone who follows a different religion, you know, is not going to be lesser than someone who else. As long as both of us walk in spirituality, they cross each other paths. Do they go to kill each other? No. But they're different religions. That don't make them no different. It's all the same, even what we asking when we're looking for to be accepted for the color of our skin. You know, we want to know that it is okay. The same things that are equal to those who of this religion is equal to me. We should not be condemned or conformed by any way, any physical you know, aspect, the color of our skin, our gender, our race, our religion, our sexual preferences. These things really should not be judged. It's not our choice to judge. We're supposed to live here in harmony and pass on peace and prosperity to the children, the next generation, so they can live in harmony and pass on peace and prosperity. And that is how the cycle should go. It should not, you know, be one that is full of division like it is. So I think that's really the first step, you know, accepting the diversity in it.
Right. You said a mouthful there, definitely, sis. And I don't like to. I feel as though there's a bunch of stuff that goes on out here that tries to distract us, right? And one of my poems, I can't even remember what it is, but I say something like, "We distracted from a viral video of a booty shaking hoe or the R. Kelly show." So
Yeah.
it's like we are focused for a while, and then something happens in our culture that takes our focus off, and it's like that's all that we on, right? So with Mr. West, with Kanye West, now the way I look at what he's doing, and I want to get your opinion on this. Everybody, of course, thinks he's crazy and all that, but when you're trying to do change, or when change is trying to be brought on to people, you're going to be looked at as a weirdo, as a crazy person, as somebody who's not going along with the norm, right? And his actions and what he's doing right now, though, how much? I mean, like, how do y'all feel about that? What do you think? And I want Vic to answer this too after you. What do y'all think is his is? Do you think that he's slowly opening people's eyes up about what's going on?
Unapologetically, yes. And mind you, Mr. West he's one of my favorite characters, and I say this because you never know what you're going to get. He's not your fairy tale story character where you know what Prince Charming is going to do. We don't know what Kanye going to do. We don't know what Ye going to do. But you got to think about this. Look at the word revolutionist, re-evolution. You know what I'm saying? That's what revolutionists are. They are to change the change. There's a change going on, and he's redirecting that change to a bigger aspect. You know, yes, we talk about Black Lives Matter. Yes, we want to be woke, but let's really be woke. Let's talk about it. Yeah, there's an evolution going on here. There's a wave that's hitting the culture that's allowing them to think differently and say things differently. Hence, again, going back to the spiritual aspect, I know a lot of people who are like, my mama and my grandma was all about Christ, but I don't know, I might not lean that way. Yeah, and so with that, Kanye is not only shaking the evolution, but he's re-evaluating. He's making you because now he's like, so yeah, you know that you don't want to go in that direction, but now what direction do you want to go in? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know the truth, but do you really want to? Do you want to take the real truth? Because you're just touching the iceberg with some of that. You're just touching the tip of the iceberg with some of this stuff. He's breaking it wide open.
He is.
He's breaking it wide open.
Right.
And he's doing that unapologetically. He's like, what? Because there used to be consequences for those that spoke. There used to be consequences for those that spoke like that.
Right. It still is, right? And it's funny because once they started taking things from him yesterday, everybody was all up in arms and everybody got their opinions about it. But it's like when you at a level of where he is at, how much can they take from him where he's just flat has nothing? Like, I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? I just don't. And I think that just like some of his songs, I was listening to Wait Till I Get My Money Right the other day. Like, this shit, this ain't new, I don't think, at all.
It ain't new. It's not. It's evolved. It's still Ye. It's still Kanye, but he has evolved. And with it has it not only has his mind, but his music and his voice. He's more adamant and he don't care. He know people gonna have an opinion. He know people not gonna like what he has to say. He doesn't care, because he feels like it is his job to say it. And that means a lot. Because a lot of people get up there and they feel like it's not my job no more. I've said what I had to say. Let them down there deal with and figure it out. And they sit and be quiet. In my poem, I say now they sit among the elite with duct tape on their mouth. So it's like once they speak on their way up there, that's why I capping it to this day. They get up there and then they want to shut down and shut up because they don't want nobody touch. Don't touch my money. Don't touch what I work for this. I work for this. But trust me, on their way up, they was, I'm doing it for the culture, and I'm doing it for my people, and I'm doing it for the hood, and I'm doing it for this. And then they get up there and they shut up.
Right.
And trust me, on their way up there, they learned some truths.
Mm-hmm.
They learned some truths.
Mm-hmm.
So why not talk about it? Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it. Yeah, gonna talk about it. He wild. I like, again, he's a character. I would not say that I would act or do those things in his manner, but I'm definitely radical. I'm definitely radical, and I definitely don't see me in the position he's in and not say or make my voice be heard.
Same here. I would definitely have to say something. But I think it's interesting that we got to get to a place of power, though. The Locks and Lil Kim and then with the money, power, respect. Like, it's funny because if he wasn't who he is, how many people would be listening to him? Just about nobody, I think.
And that's why it's important for them to say it. Because listen to what you just said. If he wasn't nobody, who would hear him?
Right.
Now, you and I and others in our circle, the table, us as a whole, we push for the same agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on here every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and I'll be honest with you, a good goddamn 75% of the city should be locked in every Wednesday to Spitfire poetry.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? But who is? But I bet you if you was Wallow or Gilly the Kid or Kanye, you know what I mean? Tuned in, eyes glued every Wednesday. And then you will have your platform and say what you say. Yeah, people will have something to say about it, but they hear you.
Right.
They'll hear you. So again, I respect the fact that he's taking advantage of the platform and the opportunity. I know I would. I mean, but do that mean that those that don't have that platform on that level should not say nothing? No, because the thing about it is the power lies in the voice, period.
Mm-hmm.
The minute we stop talking, that's when we lose power.
Right.
The minute we stop voicing is the minute we lose our power. But I don't care if it's a whisper in the dark, it's powerful because somebody gonna hear that whisper, and that whisper gonna create another whisper, and that whisper gonna create another whisper, and the hope is there'll be enough whispers to create a wave. So I feel like it doesn't matter how large your platform or how much finances you have, as long as you have a voice, you have the power. So
that's true. Definitely, you have a voice. You got to use it and put your voice out there. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And I thank you, John. I appreciate you. From day one, man. My first time on the show is like home. You know what I mean? When you be like, y'all try and get on, I'm for it. Like, I'm like already pre-prepping, like you're hoping, oh John, because if you need me, I got you. But I appreciate you having this platform open to those who write poetry and do music and other art forms, because it gives us a voice beyond the art. We get to talk about why we wrote these things, who we are, what created what we create. How do we get to this point of creativity? And you allow us to do that, which is very important, because I don't know about other poets, but this is sort of a ministry, for me. I'm always purposeful about what it's time to say when I open my mouth and give a poem. So it's like, this platform to allow people to see me beyond the poet, and hear my voice beyond the rhymes and the way the stanzas are put up is awesome for me, because they get to hear who I am, this is who I am,
Right. And I it's funny because even right now, me doing this and having you guys on and just doing the show, period, I really do notice how it alters my whole energy, right? Last week I took a break. I was running a lot. I needed some time to just clear shit and just sit and just be nothing and just be still, basically, right? For a minute and process some stuff and things of that nature. And coming back tonight and being on tonight, everything lines up for a reason. We run around and sometimes we stress about how things are going to play out and how we want them to be and how we plan for them to be. But I'm noticing sometimes if I just lay back, things just organically just come into play, right? Ever since I started doing poetry, like really putting myself out there with social media and out there with people doing poetry, the energy that I receive from the poets that I've been around and that I meet is absolutely incredible. Like it's seriously something that is definitely a ministry, but it's a feeling, it's a like a brotherhood, of everyone who can express themselves in different ways, but hearing different people, like with Vic, with that I'm Still Alive poem, that really does something. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? The
Right.
first time I heard him say that, and that part where he goes into saying, "I'm still alive," like I almost fucking lost it.
Yeah.
That's when I used to lose it when I was
Yeah.
going to different. When I was going at one time, I was going to a church faithfully because I was looking for something. I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to
Right.
find. And when somebody would say something like that, "I'm still alive," that would just trigger
Yeah.
a trauma that I dealt with in remembrance of what I went through. So,
Right.
I love poetry for that. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I
Yeah.
think too, it is definitely a ministry that can help so many people. I believe if we, if this city was to open it up even more, we could have even more, because I know a couple poets out here that their children write like you all. There's poets out here who are very young, um, and they got a lot to say. They have, it's interesting to meet a young person, and they have that like a thought process, and I'm sitting there like, how did they come up with that at 14? You know what I mean? I know a young lady that I still have to get on my show. I think she's about 15 or 16 now. But she shared some poems with me at a family dinner, that we were all at, and it blew me away. I was like, damn, I had no idea that she was writing stuff like this, and it was stuff that was substantial. It wasn't just
Right.
roses are red, violets are blue. No,
Right.
this
Right.
young lady was putting feelings on paper of things
Right.
that we see in our culture and in the inner city every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I do think it's a beautiful thing. So look, I want to get a question from your husband as well too,
Sure.
while he's here. Going back to the Mr. West stuff, Vic.
Yeah.
Now nobody knows his way of thinking because he does a bunch of different stuff when he thinks and things of that nature. But when it comes to religion and things of that nature, he says some things about a certain religion, right? And I feel as though sometimes when you do stuff like that, you know how that cancel culture is and all that. You say this, oh, we're gonna be over, we're gonna cancel him. How much of this do you think is him really just being honest and trying to open our eyes up, or do you think it's just propaganda bullshit, basically?
To be honest, right, I've caught a little bit of it. I haven't really even focused in on them, been so busy with, taking care of our family, working, taking care of businesses, things like that. Trying to cultivate our unit, our friendships and our alliances, in a legitimate way, and just building and growing. But I'm catching a little bit of it. And it's like what they did with my man Nick Cannon, but times 100. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think one of the things that we need to focus on is people in general. Stop focusing so much on whether this person is right or wrong, because the conversation is starting. Now, what is he talking about in the first place? Now, whether you against or for what he's saying, people get so caught up on, okay, I'm not liking this person and his mannerisms, so we can't even hear what the person is saying anymore. This is what we watch going on in politics, Democrats and Republicans, when the whole time people don't know that there's more than other political parties, not just the independent party. There's the Green Party. You know what I'm saying? There's I think like over a dozen parties, but you couldn't tell a person that because we don't check into and do the research. We too busy worrying about if somebody is friendly or palatable to us. So, I think one of the things we need to do, right? Because a big thing I focus on is identity and our nationality and figuring out who we is. I'm not charged to speak radical about anybody or any group, but I am charged to speak facts and truth. I've been studying religion for a long time. I was fortunate to come under a lot of brothers that were knowledgeable. I was blessed to come under a grandmother, a mother who taught me a lot on the faiths that they believe in, you know, and I don't follow their faith or anything, but I don't discount their faith either. I'm similar to my wife with that. But I think it's big that we a big deal and a great importance for us to really start learning how to deal with reality and facts. As a people, we don't like to talk about what's uncomfortable. We don't like to do things that make us feel uncomfortable, because that first law of man starts to kick in. That survival instinct, that self-preservation kicks in. So for somebody to tell you something you believe for 20, 30, 40, 50 years to be true, and they give you a whole nother perception, you feel attacked. And because you feel attacked, you become defensive. So there's never a real conversation, and we don't take the time to grow and develop these things, because instead of conversing, we're too busy arguing, debating, and trying to diffuse each other. So now here it goes. Like Nick Cannon, the brother spoke about the faith of the Jews, right? And I'm trying to be careful with this because I don't want to bring cancel culture to your business. But this is what I'm saying, though. If you learn the Hebrew language, you learn there was no J in the Hebrew language. So first of all, if you study history and you learn that the people who we're called that we call as Jews today, these are people that come from the Hebrews, the Israelites. Now the Hebrews, the Israelites look like you, brother. I had a book one time I read called Saving the Lost Tribe, The Rescue and Redemption of the Ethiopian Jews. And it was written by a brother named Harvey Levy. And he was a European Jew, right? Now, Mr. Levy, in his foreword, he wrote in his foreword that these group of people were called the Falasha Jews. But in their language, Falasha means stranger. So essentially calling them Falashas is essentially the same as calling us niggas. But he said they call themselves the Better Israel, which means the house of Israel. And these people have stayed close to the faith of the Abrahamic faith, of the Israelites' faith, to the point that they kept the culture. They kept the culture. They thought that they were the last Israelites on earth. Now, the rabbi in this, brother darker than you, the lightest person in the tribe may have been your complexion. And he said to them, and the rabbi said to Mr. Levy that, you know, we have no need of your religion. And if you want some swords or some metal work, go into the village. They have better work than we do, right? Mr. Levy says to the rabbi, sir, like you, I worship the great God Adonai. He said, you, sir, like you, I am a Jew. And their response was, you, sir, how can you be a Jew when you're white? Now, this is not a term. This is not what I'm saying. This is what the people who were termed Falashas, who are the Better Israel, were saying. And they date back to ancient times. But if you look back in the 50s, when the Gaza Strip was taken and divvied up and portion was given to Israelite, and they were bringing people in from Europe to solidify things, people were born in Africa, and they were literally piercing their genitals to prove their lineage. Mr. Levy says, now I'm not quoting myself, I'm speaking of what Mr. Levy said, a brother who is a European Jew. He said that according to the laws of Zion, there were people coming from Europe who, according to the laws of Zion, could not have been Jew. Yet people who coming from Africa who were distinctly Jew were told to pierce their genitals, to draw blood and do all sorts of strange things to prove their faith in their bloodline. Now, the faith didn't have to do with faith before. It was your bloodline. To be Hebrew, to be Israelite, that was your nationality. That was like being Chinese. So now I say that to say this. At the end of the day, whatever your feelings are, good or bad about what a person's comment is, take that time to do some research and have a conversation. Because the fact of the matter is, people are arguing whether he's right or wrong and don't even know what they're arguing about. What did he say that was offensive? I'm not saying it wasn't offensive.
Right.
I'm saying, do you understand why it's offensive? Or do you feel that he's speaking out against the group? Or is he speaking up for a group saying that the people who were truly the Jews, people that look like you and I, have not been given credit for this? So now we're getting into the history, nationality, and identity, which is a hard thing to get to, because a lot of things in history has been distorted. My wife spoke about, like, with the education system and educating our children. bringing them into faith, whether it's Christianity, Islam, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Buddhism, whatever it is. You have to give people the opportunity to be able to open their own minds and expand their thoughts and find out what's true for them. Who am I to tell you your truth ain't true? Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. Who am I to tell you that what you follow is wrong or incorrect? For me, I feel that if what you're doing is helping you to self-improve and you're not harming anybody else, that's the key, to do no harm. So as long as what you do is not harming anybody and you're taking it to improve yourself, I don't care if you got to skip a rock 3 times so it hit a stump in the middle of the lake. That is your business if it's helping you to be a better person. Now, if you want to start talking about facts and all that stuff, that's a different conversation. Because we know when we talk faith, we're not talking about things that people can put their hands on and say this is or this is that. This is what people are talking about that they hold to be truth. And you can talk about how strong your convictions is all day, but this is still your belief. So we not even, what am I arguing with? You know what I'm saying? How can I argue your faith? Who the hell am I to tell you what you should or shouldn't have faith in? Now, if you want to argue facts, that's a whole nother conversation. So I say, me personally, I think we need to open up, man. We way too close-minded. Everybody has a problem with everybody not agreeing with them. Who am I to tell you not that you got to agree with me? You have to believe what I say. I can have my opinion. I can even have a solid fact that contradicts your opinion. At the end of the day, my fact, my opinion, my truth is my truth, and so is yours. I can't take that from you. I can't take that from anybody. So it just comes down to a thing of humility, a thing of humbleness, you know, of being aware and being conscious and having the ability to give people the same treatment you get that you want to receive. Because one thing I've learned, and I'm gonna tie this up, it's always funny to me, right? And I don't care if you're a Christian or Muslim or whatever, when people start spouting about what they believe in their faith, right? And if you have a contrary thought, they immediately start to argue. Now, it was cool for you to tell me your faith and your understanding, but when I tell you my understanding, you're now offended because it's not the same as yours. But I'm not supposed to be offended at you having a contradictory thought. So why are you treating me differently than you expected to be treated? There go the key. Stop mistreating people. Stop giving people
treatment. That's a big obstacle in our culture right there, too, to keep us divided. It really is.
Well, they trained us to not trust each other. You see a talking head, you see the pale face, and you be like, yeah, that man said. You know what I mean? Think about this. Remember Homie the Clown?
Right.
And remember one of his big lines was always the man. It's the man. Right. And as a young boy, I asked the question, if they the man, then what does that make us? See, we don't realize how much words and connotation in these little idiosyncrasies and these little things we say, metaphors and colloquialisms we use affect the mind. Words are magic spells, man.
Right.
Think about it. Every magic spell had to be spoken. So when you speak words into existence and you start to manifest things. So the whole time we killing each other culturally. We too busy believing, and it's because it comes from a self-doubt and a self-hate. Because if I look in the mirror and can't believe that I can be this, and that I can accomplish this, and that I can overcome this, then why would I think the next person that looks like me can do this?
Right.
So a lot of times when those naysayers and those doubters come to you and tell you, oh, well, why are you trying this, man? They ain't gonna, oh, you know, the white man ain't gonna let you do this and do that. Nah, you feel they ain't gonna let you, so you don't think that I can surpass what you think your abilities are, what your limitations are. I don't have those limitations. I will accomplish everything I set out to accomplish one way or the other. I refuse failure. And every stumbling block, you know, I ain't got no shame to talk about it. I spent most of my adult life banged up. I'm not proud of it, ashamed of it. But I bet you one thing, I still ain't crumbled, I still ain't fold, and I get up every day and keep moving forward to build for my family, to build for my community, and to build for my people. And I'm going to keep doing it until I'm not breathing.
I love it. Guys, I want to thank y'all for coming on, man. This was really good. And I like the fact that a conversation is going on because I think that's the simple thing that we need. We need to start to be able to talk about it and be able to talk about it without conflict and without, you know, getting caught up on where we're divided at. So Aneski, Vic, I appreciate y'all for coming on. I love y'all, man. The table is,
bro. Love you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I will see y'all soon. If you want to be blessed, guys, you should bless somebody else. Follow 4 authors. Look out for the table. We got a lot of things going on next year. And like I said, if you need a book published, you don't know where to go, definitely go to 4 authors. You'll be in good hands. I guarantee that. All right. Y'all be safe. I love y'all. Be safe out here,
Love you
fam.
too, John.
Love you too, bro.
All
All right.
right.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
You too.